Hello, and welcome back to more Films Under Constant Critique, where we take a look at films, some good, some bad, some downright awful. I'm Bongo Baikov, joined by our host Maverick, Dren, Zaria. This week, we're taking a look at the 1958 film Dracula, also called The Horror of Dracula.
Yes. Because it's like, how many movies have Dracula in the title got differentiated somehow?
I mean, at this point, there was probably only, like two?
There was the Bela Lugosi one at that point.
There was also the Spanish language Dracula.
Right, yeah. Where he says, "Yo soy Dracula." Anyway.
Is that the one where he fights Jacinto?
Santo? Does he fight Santo? There might be a Santo movie where he fights Dracula.
No. Jacinto. Have you not seen the Jacinto fighting a vampire? Hang on, I'll find it.
And for the record, okay, there is a Santo movie with Dracula in it called Santo in the Treasure of Dracula.
Of course. Here, I sent you what I was talking about.
Not to mention, there's also the Jesus Christ vampire hunter movie.
Oh, yeah.
And Santo is in that movie as well. The hell is this? El Santo.
You need to watch it, it's 20 seconds.
I am the great Jacinto. What the fuck is this?
Yo soy Jacinto el Grande. Toma. Y serás imbécil, Jacinto. Todos mis antepasados son.
What? Okay. What the hell is this movie? What is this?
We have to do this movie at some point.
What is this? Cured of Fears? Is that what it's called? I don't know what the hell this is. Just off of that one clip, though, that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Cured of Fears.
I'm really curious. Anyway. So, that would be getting off topic. So we're doing
We've already gotten off topic.
Horror of Dracula, which was released in 1958. May in Milwaukee. June in London.
Really? It came out in Milwaukee first, huh?
I guess. It cost about £81,000 or $11,000. Almost $11,000, and made $3.5 million worldwide.
Wow. That's a pretty good return.
It was the first of a number of Dracula movies done by Hammer. Because you can't keep a good man down, I guess.
Nope.
Can't keep a good vampire down. No. It was directed by Terence Fisher, who, surprise, also directed Curse of Frankenstein.
Yep. So we've already had this director along with two of our cast members before.
Yeah. Oh, it's also written by the same guy who did Curse of Frankenstein.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy Sangster. And I looked at his filmography. He also wrote the 1958 classic The Crawling Eye.
Oh my god, I just opened his filmography. He wrote 6 movies for 1958.
And one of them was The Crawling Eye. also known as the Trollenberg Terror, which is a Mystery Science Theater favorite.
Science theater. Yeah.
We should do something like that. I've wanted to do stuff like that, or I know we joke about
Yeah.
the giant claw.
Oh yeah, do the giant claw like that.
We should do the giant claw at some point. The music was done by James Bernard, who did the music for a bunch of other Hammer movies, including, drumroll, Curse of Frankenstein.
Who would have guessed?
So the cast, and guess what? A few of them were in Curse of Frankenstein.
No way.
Including Peter Cushing, who played Dr. Frankenstein. Yep. Christopher Lee, who played the monster. And I mean, both of those actors, like, at that point, like, do I need to introduce these two? You know.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lee, he's the actor that's played Dracula the most times.
Really?
And he's one of the very few to play him more than once. Because surprisingly, Bela Lugosi only played Dracula twice.
Yeah, wasn't the second time in the Abbott and Costello movie?
Yes, and it's interesting that the second time was in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
We have, I actually am not sure how this guy's last name is pronounced. Is it Michael Gough or Michael Gough? Okay, Michael Gough. But
Yep, Michael Gough.
He played Alfred in the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman movies.
Oh, wow.
Did you realize that when you were...
I didn't know. It's been so long since I've seen those.
I think he's in quite a few. I feel like he might have been in several other Hammer movies, but I don't remember.
I mean, Hammer does like reusing their actors.
I mean, he's in like a bunch of British horror movies, so
that makes sense.
He was in a few Amicus movies, apparently, like Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which also has Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in it.
Oh wow!
And The Skull, which also has Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in it.
Huh.
He's in Sleepy Hollow, which also has Christopher Lee in it. And it was
he really just likes working with Christopher Lee, I think.
Yes, and that was a tribute to Hammer movies.
Okay.
Carol Marsh, which she played Scrooge's sister in the Alastair Sim version of A Christmas Carol.
Huh.
Which is considered one of the best versions of A Christmas Carol. Valerie Gaunt, and this was her second and last film role.
Wasn't it her first Curse of Frankenstein?
First was Curse of Frankenstein. You know, it's kind of just a perfect filmography right there. I mean, are there any complaints?
Yeah, 2 for 2.
In those two movies? Okay, so initial thoughts. And you could start on this if you want.
Yeah, so I didn't quite know what to expect going into this one. I had never seen any of the Hammer Dracula movies before.
But you had
but after having seen
a Hammer Frankenstein movie.
Exactly. And after having seen that, I actually had pretty high hopes for this movie. Because I ended up really enjoying Curse of Frankenstein. And even though this is definitely a truncated version of the Dracula story, I think it's still pretty good. It's very enjoyable. Like the Curse of Frankenstein, it moves at a very brisk pace. The setting is interesting. All the different locations, the different castles, manors, all look really cool. Kind of like Curse of Frankenstein, it almost feels like a period piece at points.
It's almost like it was the same production company.
Impossible. It's almost like it was just about the exact same team.
There's no overlap at all with the cast or the director or any of it.
Or the writer.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. I don't know if I could say I like this more than I like Curse of Frankenstein, or if I like Curse of Frankenstein more than this, but like that movie, it's a very solid production representation of the source material. Yeah, I guess without getting any further into it, that's just my initial thoughts.
Yeah. So I had seen the Hammer Dracula movies once, and that was many moons ago. So, and from what I could recall, I remembered liking the first few of them, like the first 3, maybe 4 of them I remember enjoying, and then the later ones were pretty bad from what I recall. This one, I remembered more of this than I did of Curse of Frankenstein. Like, I could actually recall a few scenes from this one and, like, some shots. I definitely remember the ending. And then I was, like, watching this, and I was going, like, I feel like I just saw a movie where someone was watching the ending on TV, and I was like, oh, yeah. It was this really bad movie called Innocent Blood, which is also a vampire movie.
They were playing this movie in that movie.
Yeah, that's one thing that annoys me when I'm watching a bad movie, is when they're watching a way
There's
better
a better
one
movie in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting that this is one of the roles Christopher Lee got typecast as, because he barely talks in these.
Doesn't he only have like a line or two in this movie?
He has like one scene where he talks, and then the rest of the movie he's basically just snarling at people.
Yeah.
One story I've heard is that he hated the dialogue in these so much that eventually he just refused to say the lines.
That's one way to do it.
I guess getting to my thoughts on this, I think it's a pretty good Dracula movie. Like you said, it's very... They took a lot of liberties with the source material. They cut out like 80% of the characters from the book for this.
Yeah, and they switched around 2 of the characters too. Which is a little confusing.
It's definitely not going to win awards for being the most faithful adaptation, but I think it's pretty good. It's got a good cast. Like you said, it does a good job at feeling like period piece. Unlike you, though, I definitely prefer this over Curse of Frankenstein. Like, yeah, I don't think it's... I find it more memorable to watch. I think it's creepier.
I'd agree with that it is creepier.
It's got more of the gothic atmosphere I want, and Christopher Lee gets way more to do in this one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Although I like both those movies, though, to be fair, but just... I do have a clear preference as far as... I think I just remember more of the... I think I just remember more scenes from the Hammer Dracula movies than I do mainly just the different ways they kill Dracula or bring him back to life. Because it gets pretty absurd in some of the later ones. But anyway. And we'll probably talk about this more later, but it's also like Peter Cushing does a really good job in this as well. And
yes.
Michael Gough as well. So yeah. Really good music score too. Again, maybe I'll talk about that a little more later. What do you want to guess that your best friend film critic thought of?
Okay, so I know he doesn't really like horror movies, but he has to like this one. He has to have at least given this a 3, right?
He gave, if you recall, Curse of Frankenstein, he gave 2.5 out of 4.
Okay, I'm gonna say 3.
And you are correct.
Okay, good.
Leonard Maltin gave... I almost said Curse of Dracula. Gave
That's a different movie.
Horror of Dracula, he gave it 3 out of 4 stars. So again, a little bit higher than Curse of Frankenstein. He said, probably Hammer Film's best shocker. A handsomely mounded retelling of the Stoker tale with fantasy elements de-emphasized. Lee is smooth as the Count, and Cushing perfect as tireless Professor Van Helsing. And he also called the score full-blooded, so he couldn't resist the vampire puns.
Nice. He had to make a pun.
And apparently, I read this recently, someone found the original negatives of the movie.
Oh, yeah?
And they're putting out an uncut version of this on Blu-ray. I think it's coming out next year.
Ooh.
They, like, literally just found it. Like while I was, like, reading a bit about the movie, I'm like, oh, just in time, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
We could have waited to watch the uncut version. Who knows? Maybe the same thing will happen with Event Horizon.
Yeah, one of these days they'll find it stuffed away in some producer's garage.
I forgot to write the plot. So, I mean, do I need to, though? I mean, it's Dracula. Like... I mean... Although, okay, actually there is a bit of a difference. In this version, Jonathan Harker already knows Dracula is a vampire when he goes to visit him.
Yes. Yes.
That's one key difference. And also, like, you have very few of the characters from the book are in it, because, let's see, okay, Van Helsing's there.
Yeah, Dracula's there.
Obviously, Jonathan Harker. Does Michael Gough plays Arthur Holmwood, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
they're missing Quincy and I guess Dr. Seward's in this.
Yeah, he shows up only in one scene, though. He's not super important.
Yeah, I think it just felt like they.
But yeah, they left out Quincy.
It felt like they cut so many characters from it. Did they have? Let's see. Okay, they had Lucy and Mina, so I guess it was just Quincy that got cut completely. But
yeah,
Dr. Seward might as well have been cut as well, though.
Yeah. What sucks is that Quincy tends to get cut.
Yeah, that's true. The only versions that Quincy's in, there's 1.5 Dracula movies that Quincy is in. He's in the Coppola one, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay.
That's the only one where he's just fully there. And then there's a version where they combined him with... I think they combined him with Arthur, so his name isn't Quincy Morris, it's Quincy Holmwood. And yeah, that one was actually... That was the 1977 one. That's actually one of the more accurate Dracula adaptations.
Huh.
No, and actually, it includes a lot of stuff that people usually cut out of most adaptations. Anyway, yeah, so it's Dracula, but very. It switches a few things around. Obviously, cuts out a lot of stuff for time.
Yeah.
I just realized when I was reading Leonard Maltin's review, he said it de-emphasized the fantasy elements. So does he not turn... I can't remember. Does he not turn into a bat in this one?
No, he doesn't. That's actually a bit of dialogue that they have where Van Helsing's like, them turning into wolves or bats is something just out of folklore. It's not real.
Which, when we get to some of the later ones, well... Fuck you, Van Helsing.
They just throw that baby out with the bathwater.
I'm pretty sure he turns into a bat in one of the later ones. I know there's at least one where there's a bat. I don't know if it was Dracula, but there is a bat in one of them.
I think I just spoiled something for myself. I looked at the names of the sequels and saw that the last one is The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. It appears to be a kung fu movie.
I forgot about that one, yeah. There's another... Wait. There's this other Hammer movie. It wasn't technically a Dracula movie, but it was called, like, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter.
What?
I think it's like, yeah, it's like a swashbuckler mixed with vampire. Maybe we should do that. Who knows? Do you want Caroline Munro on the podcast again? She was in Star Crash.
Sure. This is an insane title for a movie.
She is in one of the Hammer Dracula movies, but not one of the better ones.
Oh, yeah?
But if we ever get that far, we'll run into her again. Okay, so the pros with Horror of Dracula. The music is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Very intense, very theatrical. And I also just like
it
the
fits
opening,
very well with the
opening credits. I really like the opening credits. Like, you got just these really bright red title cards. You got the blood on Dracula's coffin. It's a very memorable opening.
Yeah, it definitely stands out.
Because the thing that's worth pointing out with the Hammer movies, these were like some of the first like Frankenstein and Dracula movies filmed in color.
Mm.
So you could really see the blood in these.
Yeah, they really wanted to make sure you saw the red. Kind of made it more of a spectacle.
It's like really bright red blood too. Like, it's just
yeah.
And I mean, it's a Dracula movie. You want there to be blood in a Dracula movie, right? I mean,
there kind of has to, yeah.
Before this, like, I mean, Nosferatu is creepy, but there's not really any blood in it. And I love Bela Lugosi, but again, not much blood here. It's like you can see the blood on Dracula's fangs and stuff, And also the camera work I thought was pretty good in this.
Yeah.
It looks very like the Hammer movies, as bloody and as like just trashy as they kind of were back then. They feel like pretty classy productions as well. Like, it feels like they put a lot of effort into things with like making it look professional.
I feel like a good part of that is also just like the sets look very nice. Like Castle Dracula really looks like a big giant castle that a vampire would live in.
Yeah, and the costumes,
Yes.
I remember watching this and just like Van Helsing's coat is so huge.
It's so funny. There was like one shot where I thought he was Dracula because of how big his coat was.
There's just this huge coat everywhere. It's so funny. And of course, you can't have a Dracula movie where he doesn't have his cape. Yeah. I guess one thing they kind of keep from the Bram Stoker book, at the beginning they do frame it as being from Jonathan Harker's diary.
Yes, I thought that was kind of interesting that we were getting essentially like an opening narration from Harker. I wasn't expecting it to be that faithful, yeah.
And the Coppola one also, like, the Coppola one goes further with that, where it's, like, from multiple points of view. Because the book, if anybody hasn't read the book, Dracula by Bram Stoker, it's told through journals and letters by a bunch of different people.
Yep, journals, letters, newspapers.
Which, Carrie said that Carrie's written in a similar way. Stephen King book. So Jonathan Harker, he was hired to be in charge of the Count's library. But the one interesting difference, he already knows Dracula is a vampire when he arrives.
And is only there to kill Dracula.
And I guess it's like, I mean, I feel like they just did that because they figured everybody in the audience already knows Dracula is a vampire, so why beat around the bush?
So why beat around the bush and try to pretend like Dracula's not a vampire?
So Jonathan does still get trapped in the castle for a bit, like in the book, but just the circumstances are a little different. And also other people have to come rescue him too, which is different.
Yeah.
Unlike the book, though, he gets turned into a vampire. Because in the book, he kind of just... It's weird, because in... Jonathan Harker's like a huge character at the beginning.
Yeah,
then, like,
it could be argued he's the main character of the book. We spend like the first pretty significant chunk following his adventure in the castle.
But then kind of just
plus then like the rest
less important as the book goes along, from what I remember. It starts focusing on other characters.
But then when his fiance is the one that starts getting attacked, then he kind of becomes important again.
Because again, the Coppola one's kind of like that, so you know.
But... Yeah.
But also the Coppola one it changes a lot of shit from the book. Like they build it as being more accurate to the book than some of the other adaptations. And yeah, it technically is, but they also changed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you know, but anyway. That one's pretty fresh in my mind because I just watched it like about a week ago, but anyway. And I'd seen it before. And so Van Helsing kills Jonathan Harker in this movie, which is
pretty different from what you normally see.
Yeah, you could say so. What's weird is Jonathan Harker is like, he's the main character, and then he's just kind of I guess he's one of those decoy protagonists.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess if you know the book, that kind of works well, because you're not expecting Jonathan Harker to become a vampire and die so early on.
Sort of like in Psycho, where it's like you follow this one character, then they just get horribly murdered halfway through.
Yeah.
Or Friday the 13th is kind of like that. You think this one character's, gonna be the main character, and then they die. Honestly, I'm fine with it, because, I mean, you'd rather focus on... No offense, but I'd rather see more of Peter Cushing and Michael Gough than, what was that guy's name again? John Van... Oh, his name's actually kind of similar to Van Helsing. John Van Eysen.
Van Eysen. Yeah. Oh, his full name is Matthew John de Trois Van Eysen.
God, what a name. He was born in South Africa, apparently. Oh, that's interesting. He didn't really... He stopped acting, and then he, started being in charge of productions. That's interesting.
Huh.
Including Man for All Seasons, Born Free, To Sir with Love, Taming of the Shrew. Is that the one with Elizabeth Taylor? Yeah, I think so. And Oliver. There's probably more, but anyway. But we should probably talk a bit about Dracula. So I like his introduction in this.
Oh, yeah.
He's at the top of the stairs, and the lighting's super dark. And it's funny because in his first scene, he seems like a pretty normal person. He's very hospitable, very classy. Yeah. And then the very next scene, he's a fucking maniac.
He really only becomes a maniac once his bride tries attacking Jonathan Harker, and then when Jonathan tries to kill him. Part of me wonders if,
I kind of like that they just wasted no time in making him a vampire.
Yeah. You're like, Dracula's a vampire, let's cut to the chase.
Because he's just he's there, he's talking to Jonathan Harker, being really polite and stuff, and then the next scene, he's almost like a wild animal or something that has rabies.
Yeah.
And that is something else, like Christopher Lee, I wouldn't put him as like my favorite version of Dracula, but I do like that he's one of the more bloodthirsty. Like he's so vicious in these movies.
And like in terms of looks, he doesn't really look like the book version of Dracula, but he looks like a very intimidating vampire.
He looks downright deranged in like just that first shot where you see his fangs and he's just got blood on him. It's a very memorable shot. Like even if you've never seen this movie, you've probably seen a picture of that.
You've probably seen
And this was the first Dracula movie to prominently like feature his fangs too, if I remember right. It was like before this, he hadn't really gotten much of that, but yeah, and from what I recall, he only gets just crazier as these movies go. And the fact that he doesn't even have lines for most of these is impressive.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned. I think he only has like 2 or 3 lines in this whole movie,
something like that. He's got like a page of dialogue, if that. So yeah,
he cuts a very imposing figure.
Yeah, that was something I mentioned in Curse of Frankenstein when we were doing the podcast. And I mentioned Christopher Lee was really tall, like really tall. He was like 6'5", I think. So when he's in the room with someone in this movie, he's just towering over him.
He looks gigantic.
So you imagine that with his just deranged facial expressions. And it's just like, jeez. It's no wonder he played the character so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at it. And there's some like genuinely creepy parts too. Like the part when Dracula is in Lucy's bedroom. Well, not even just when he's like in the bedroom, when he like when he's just standing there and then comes in, like that's a really creepy shot right there.
They like to keep him in the dark in like a lot of his shots, which I think also helps make him look a bit more intimidating, almost like a shadow moving around, almost like he's Batman.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, because he is kind of part bat, vampire. And then whenever he bites people, it's just like so bloody and stuff. Dracula, not Batman. Just to clarify. They should make a Batman movie where he's a vampire, though. That might be fun.
That would be pretty good.
I think it's just what sets him apart from a lot of other Dracula adaptations I've seen. They don't even try to humanize him at all.
Nope, they're just like, this is an evil vampire, have fun.
He's just this psycho. Kills people and drains their blood. Because I will be honest, I do usually prefer the versions where Dracula is, like, humanized a bit more. But, that's fine if you want him to be a monster, as well.
Have you watched the animated Castlevania series on Netflix?
I have not, no. I haven't seen that one.
You would really like the portrayal of Dracula. It's really good, incredibly well written.
Because my favorite versions of Dracula... I mentioned Bram Stoker's Dracula earlier, which is a movie. It has a lot of issues, but Gary Oldman's fantastic in that movie. And then Frank Langella, I really liked. I liked those two just because they because Dracula was like, he is a monster in those, but they do humanize him more in those two. And then obviously Bela Lugosi, I mean, the iconic Dracula. I like, there aren't very, I mean, I've liked most actors' interpretations of Dracula, though. There's so many of them,
Yeah.
And I guess it shows, there are different ways to portray him, so like.
It doesn't have to be the same every single time.
And Christopher Lee, it is crazy though. Christopher Lee played him that many times. It was what, like? Oh, shit, I don't even remember how many. Because not only was he in a bunch of Hammer movies, there was also this other movie he was in as Dracula, and like, But anyway. Yeah, he's a very, again, these movies, they go to show you, this is why Christopher Lee got typecast as villains for a while.
Yeah, because he's very good at being one.
Really, just his whole career. I mean, most of the roles I can think of, he played a villain. I mean, at least all the big ones.
Yeah, Scaramanga, Count Dooku, Saruman.
Scaramanga's the first one you thought of. The first one I was thinking of was like Saruman, and like he's in the original Wicker Man actually from the 70s.
Oh, really?
And that's a really, really good movie if you haven't seen it. The Nicolas Cage one is like has some like goofy, hilariously bad moments, but like the original Wicker Man's like a genuinely good movie.
Okay.
And then you mentioned Saruman. It feels like most of the roles I can think of, he played a villain. I think you mentioned Count Dooku already, yeah, obviously. So, yeah, we mentioned the set design of the castle. That is one thing this movie has. There's this charm to, like, older horror movies. They're, like, shot in, like, sound stages and stuff.
Yeah.
This and, like, the older Dracula, Frankenstein, the one's even older than this one. Oh, this is one of my favorite Peter Cushing lines, which is when he says, "Evacuate in a moment of triumph." I guess we should talk about Peter Cushing in this though. So he plays Van Helsing, obviously. I mean, just you could watch this and Curse of Frankenstein, and already you could see that he has a really impressive range as an actor, because he can play just a horrible, obsessed doctor, but then also he can play like this
vampire hunter, scholarly guy,
desperate vampire hunter, yeah, and also the Butcher of Alderaan. So another difference here, Van Helsing is Harker's friend in this.
Yes.
He's Dr. Seward's friend in the book, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Seward's barely even in this movie. Like, what?
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Dr. Seward, there is another character that's missing in this. Renfield.
I knew I was forgetting somebody. Yes, Renfield's not even in this. I forgot about that. Yeah, why hadn't I thought of that? Most Dracula movies I can think of, they have Renfield in them. Yeah, that's kind of a huge thing to leave out there, Renfield.
Yeah.
I feel like you could cast either Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee as Renfield, and that would probably work. But anyway.
Yeah, they'd both make very good Renfields.
But another difference with Van Helsing. So, in popular culture, a lot of people, they see Van Helsing as he's just a vampire hunter, and that's his main profession. This is where that started, basically, because in the book, he's just a doctor
who happens to know a lot about vampires.
He's like a polymath in the book, basically.
Yeah.
It's like his main profession is a doctor, but he just happens to know a bunch of shit, and some of that includes vampires. And also, Peter Cushing is way younger than Van Helsing is in the book. Like, way younger, because in the book, he's like...
How old is he supposed to be in the book?
He's like really old, right? I mean, he's got to be in his 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And Peter Cushing's only like... Peter Cushing wasn't even 50 when he did this movie. But what I like about Van Helsing is that he's just really good. He's really good at his job. He takes it really seriously. He like gets mad when people don't follow his instructions. And I like that he's doing a lot of investigating in this, you know.
Yeah, it makes him feel more like a professor than just a straight up vampire hunter.
I feel like he played Sherlock Holmes in a movie right after this, and this is probably why.
That makes sense.
A movie which also had Christopher Lee in it, believe it or not. And it
Ooh,
was
of
also a
course.
Hammer movie. Of course. I like that he's recording audio of himself just talking about vampires.
Yeah.
And it also kind of made me think of Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks.
Actually, yeah. With all the cassette tapes he records.
Doesn't he do that, where he's just talking?
Yeah. He's talking to Diane the whole time.
And it's interesting because apparently Peter Cushing wasn't really a fan of horror movies. But he always took the roles really seriously because he knew, like, audiences really loved his performances. And so it's kind of just, you know, you take this really dedicated actor, have him play a dedicated dude in his field, and you're gonna get, you know, a really good performance.
Yeah.
He's another one of those actors where he's really good at delivering exposition. Like, whenever this dude is talking about vampires, you listen. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
And also just, yeah, he's, like, figuring out all the ways to, like, you know, he has to explain to the characters, like, this is how you get rid of Dracula. You know, this is what you're supposed to do. And sometimes they don't listen to him, you know, because...
And it always goes wrong.
Exactly, yeah.
I do find it funny how he describes vampires' weaknesses, where he's like, they're allergic to sunlight. It's like, based off what happens to Dracula, it feels like they're more than a little allergic to sunlight.
And it's weird, too, because that's not how... You know, because, like, people see sunlight as, like, the big weakness, the thing that kills vampires, but in the book, Dracula, that is not...
Yeah. I think it weakens him, but it doesn't kill him.
It doesn't kill him, but it weakens him. Although I will say that it does have this movie does have a very memorable ending when they killed Dracula.
Yeah.
They had this like little fight, and then Van Helsing like lets the light in. He makes 2 candlesticks into a cross, and you get Dracula decomposing into ashes. And it looks like he's actually decomposing, too.
It's a very impressive effect, especially when they show his hand kind of like turning into dust.
It really looks like that part in, you probably know what movie I'm about to mention now, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, when he...
I was actually about to mention the first Evil Dead movie, when all the deadites are kind of melting.
It looks more like Last Crusade to me.
Yeah. No, it does, but that's the first scene that popped in my head.
Christopher Lee drank from the wrong grail. He chose poorly. And also, like, I like the part where Dracula's trying to bury Mina, too, where he's just...
Yeah.
I just love how much of a crazy asshole Dracula is in this movie. It feels like he just, like, loses any kind of rational thought after his first scene and just starts attacking people almost on impulse after that.
Yeah. There's not really a peaceable Dracula after, like, the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Basically just this, like... He's a monster. He's basically just not... He's not even, like, a human being at that point. I also like the part when Jennifer Love Hewitt yelled, "What are you waiting for?" and spun around in the street. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I'm talking about the wrong movie again, damn it. That was, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, I forgot we were talking about that the other day.
It was, yeah. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Or was it, I'll always know what you did last summer?
I'll keep continuing to know what you did last summer.
I love how ridiculous the sequel titles to those guys, because it's just, because you have the first one, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I'll always know what you did last summer. And then they made another one. It's just called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
If they make a prequel, they can call it I Know What You'll Do Next Summer.
I'm waiting for I Forgot What You Did Last Summer. where the killer is just like murdering people. And he's just like, wait a minute, I don't even remember why I'm doing this.
I know what you're doing this summer.
And you made a good point when we were talking about that, where you're just like, wait, it isn't even last summer anymore.
Yeah, no, it's so many summers ago.
I don't know, but I guess I know what you did a few summers ago. Anyway,
the titles are so bad.
Jeez. To be fair, most of them are pretty bad. You make that many movies, like, I mean, what are you even doing? Like, what are you waiting for? Michael Gough. I forgot to talk about him. So he plays
Yes.
Arthur Holmwood in this, and he knows what you did last summer. No, okay, so the Arthur Holmwood. I feel like his character though feels like several characters merged together.
Yeah,
because he's kind of taking the Dr. Seward and Arthur Holmwood role here.
Yeah, he's just kind of drug into the situation because of his basically his brother-in-law or future brother-in-law getting involved with Dracula, who then comes to haunt him, his sister, and his wife.
I know what you did at Dracula's castle.
There you go.
But yeah, so he actually has a character arc in this, because he starts off the movie not trusting Van Helsing until things go very wrong. Like when he finds Lucy's body gone, realizes she's a vampire. Like the first part of the movie, he's like blaming Van Helsing for what's going wrong, and then after that, he ends up like blaming himself for what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't complex or anything, but it did show like
a change in his character,
and he even let them like use his own blood to try to save Mina.
Yeah, which I think was a scene in the book, right?
Oh yeah, it was a scene in the book. I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I was joking. I think it might have been. You know what? Yeah, actually, now that I think about that, I think that was a scene in Bram Stoker's Dracula. And another creepy scene was when there's that little girl that says she saw Lucy in the forest.
Yes.
And the stuff with like the undead Lucy is like actually pretty creepy.
It's very creepy.
Yeah, because she just looks creepy, and then there's that part where Van Helsing burns her forehead with a cross. I mean,
yeah, it's all it gets very intense at points.
I'm trying to remember, it's in the. Okay, so I know there's some versions where they switch Lucy and Mina around.
And this is one of them.
Or there's like ones where, oh yeah, this is the one where they make them sisters, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so okay. Arthur Holmwood, okay, so in the books, their names are Mina Harker and Lucy Westenra, whereas here it's Mina Holmwood and Lucy Holmwood. So I guess they're just all related. And then Jonathan Harker is the fiancé.
Yeah.
Whereas in the book, I think Arthur Holmwood was one of the suitors, right?
Yeah, Arthur was one of Mina's suitors, along with Quincy and Dr. Seward.
What is with all the... I don't understand a lot of these changes they made here. It's so random, but
Yeah. Because, like, you could have just simplified a lot of that, but changing Lucy and Mina around feels kind of pointless and just confusing.
they do the same in the... I think it was the Frank Langella version. They just switched their names around, so it's
Huh. It's weird that it happened more than once.
I think it's Lucy that ends up... Yeah. And also, if I remember right, Mina is related to Van Helsing. I think it's Van Helsing's... I think Van Helsing is her father in the Frank Langella one.
Huh.
That one would be interesting to do, because that has Donald Pleasance as Dr. Seward.
Oh, really?
And Laurence Olivier himself as Van Helsing. That's quite the casting.
Yeah. That could be a fun one.
There's a lot. That's the thing. There's so many Dracula movies. Like, where would we even start? Also, I know one criticism you had of Curse of Frankenstein was it kind of lost its way a bit in the second half.
Hmm.
And I think this one doesn't. I actually think...
Yeah, no, it stays on course pretty well.
It's a little more consistent with stuff.
Yeah. Consistent. I feel like the pacing was also pretty consistent throughout, too. Like, it felt very, just, like, solidly made.
Basically, what we've learned here is both of these movies are better whenever Peter Cushing is on screen.
Yeah.
And I think that's... Unless, did you have anything else?
I think that's everything I have for the pros.
Yeah, I do have a few cons. So, if it isn't obvious, this one's weird because it's kind of accurate to the Bram Stoker novel and kind of not.
Yeah, and a lot of the changes don't really make sense.
No, the Hammer movies were weird about that because it's like they kind of follow some stuff, but then they make... The changes they do make don't really make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
and like you mentioned, Renfield's not even in this one. No Quincy Morris, which that's another thing. What is it with Dracula movies not including Quincy?
It feels like a missed opportunity to just have a cowboy in the middle of this, in the middle of the story.
I guess people just think that's too out of place or something. I don't know. I remember, like, as a kid, like, I performed my own version of Dracula with, like, stuffed animals. That had Quincy in it. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then I was watching this and going, wait, is Dr. Seward not in this either? And then he showed up, but he's, like, barely in it.
For a single scene. Yeah.
He might as well be a cameo. Like... And it's like they just gave a character the name... It's like they just took, like, some minor doctor character and gave him the name Dr. Seward, and, like...
Yeah, they're like, might as well. We can name him that character from the book.
Like, they forgot to include him or something. And at the last minute, they're like, oh, wait, there's another doctor. Let's just call him Dr. Seward. And actually, there is a Christopher Lee movie. It was a non-Hammer Dracula movie called Count Dracula.
Yeah.
And that was actually more accurate to the book than this was.
Huh.
Although it wasn't a very good movie, but it was a little more accurate to the book. And the cast of that one's interesting because Renfield is played by Klaus Kinski.
Oh no. Perfect casting, but oh no.
Yeah, it's like we have a character who's a deranged lunatic. Who do we get to play him? An actual deranged lunatic. And Herbert Lom plays Van Helsing in that. So I'm like, that's a very interesting casting choice, because he was Inspector Dreyfus in the original Pink Panther movies. Although he got
Really?
typecast as villains a lot in a lot of stuff, so it's interesting that he played Van Helsing of all people. Who knows? Maybe we should do that on the podcast. And that movie kind of has a sort of Evil Dead-like scene in it where taxidermied animals come to life. Anyway, it's does that happen to... Is it Evil Dead 2 that happens in?
Yes, where like the mounted animals start laughing at him.
It's not quite as crazy as that, though, unfortunately, but it sort of feels like that. So... Yeah, no Quincy Morris. The pacing was a bit slow at points, although at least Dracula had more screen time than the Frankenstein monster.
That's true. It did feel a lot more balanced in that sense.
I mentioned this earlier. Sunlight does not kill vampires. It weakens them, at least going off of Dracula. It also felt very, like, surface level. Like, there wasn't a ton of substance to it.
No, it almost felt like you were watching a summary of the Dracula novel.
Kind of, yeah. It's the Cliff Notes version of,
Pretty much.
Dracula. But they accidentally mixed a few things up.
The AI summary got it wrong.
If somebody tried to write a book report on Dracula and, like, they took this version, do you think they'd get a pass if they, like...
I feel like they'd get at least, like, a 70 or 80%.
Because they would get a lot of details wrong if they did that.
They'd get a lot of details wrong. I think they'd get enough of the broad strokes right to pass.
It was also pretty, I guess, yeah, this was kind of just the Hammer style. It's pretty sensationalized and over-dramatic at points. Which is fine, but it's just like some parts of it, I mean, there will be parts that are a bit hard to take seriously as a result.
Yeah.
And I noticed Dracula is absent from quite a good chunk of the middle of the movie. He's there a lot at the beginning and the end, but then like in the middle he's kind of just gone.
Yeah, when they're trying to do almost like the investigation as to what's happening to Mina, Dracula just kind of disappears.
Like I said, it's a good thing both of these movies have Peter Cushing in them, because like, he really has to carry a lot of both of these movies.
Yeah.
It's probably the only reason people, even went to the Frankenstein movies, just because, he was in them. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or?
I felt like at times it got a little bit hard to follow exactly where everything was taking place. Because there's kind of two like main areas that take place: Dracula's castle, and then like the Holmwood house, essentially. But especially towards the end of the movie, there's just like a lot of running around, and it seems like they get to Dracula's castle very, very fast at the end of the movie.
Yeah, the pacing that was something you mentioned. Is like the pacing almost felt too fast. It kind of did feel like you're just zooming through the book, and like locations. It's just. It felt like there were only two locations in this movie: Dracula's castle and Arthur Holmwood's house, I guess.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell how far apart they are, because the end of the movie makes it feel like they're just 2 hours away.
I think they're just rushing there at breakneck speed, because they really need to kill Dracula, so... I was gonna make an I know what you did last summer joke again, but I don't know what to say. Anyway. I can't really think of much else, though. I guess that's it for what I have to say about it.
Yeah, that's it for me, too.
If you want to get into overall thoughts,
Yeah.
So, I think you got a pretty good cast. You got Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle... Oh, wait a minute, wrong movie. I know what you did last summer. So it's a pretty good Dracula movie. Again, I can't remember how it compares to the other Hammer Dracula movies as far as quality goes, but I do remember this being one of the better ones.
Hmm.
Like, this is one of the ones I remembered more. I remembered more scenes and, like, details of this one than some of the other ones. It's the best vampire movie we've done on the podcast.
Yeah. Are you telling me that this is better than From Dusk Till Dawn? Or Texas Blood Money?
Yeah, it's better than those two movies. It's also better than, what was the third one called? Hangman's Daughter?
Yeah, The Hangman's Daughter.
That's what those movies was missing. They needed Christopher Lee in them. Dracula, Texas Blood Money. Oh my god, that actually...
Oh, that's the one that stars Quincy.
Oh shit, is that what... Why did it take me that long to realize that Texas Blood Money is a pun? Because vampires, why the fuck did it take me that long to realize that? I take things too literally, I guess. Compared to Curse of Frankenstein, I think that movie... I liked Peter Cushing's performance better in that one. But this one had the better Christopher Lee performance for sure. Like, not even a contest. Yeah. I think this one had better music. And the plot, I just think the plot flowed better in this one. Maybe just... Well, I don't know. They both take a lot of liberties with the source material. I feel like this one takes less liberties, though, than Curse of Frankenstein did.
Yeah.
Curse of Frankenstein, like, it kind of resembles the book. It kind of doesn't. And I would say, again, overall, I think it's a good... If you want, like, a 50s, 50s Dracula movie, 50s horror movie, then there you go. Or you could just watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, that's also an option. Okay, you can go.
So, actually, I think, as we've talked about this movie, I think I have made up my mind. I do think I prefer this movie over Curse of Frankenstein.
And to make it clear,
overall,
they're both good movies.
Yes, they're both good movies, but I think this one has the edge. It's overall, it's not super accurate to the book, but it gets a lot of the broad strokes right. Christopher Lee is fantastic as Dracula. Peter Cushing is likewise fantastic as Van Helsing.
He
Gough is also very good. Yeah.
After thinking about it, I'd have to watch more versions. I would say he's one of my favorite versions of Van Helsing, actually.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job as Van Helsing.
Yeah.
You can keep going, sorry.
And Gough also makes a very good Arthur. And he gets like you said, it's not super complicated, but he does get a nice character arc throughout the movie. Set design is great. I think the music is fun. The whole atmosphere of the movie, it's a little hard to put into words, but like I think you mentioned just kind of with the design of the sets, how it's all in like a sound stage, the music, lighting, even just like sort of the like sound direction, I think is all very good. I think this might have to become part of like my Halloween movies list. Like every time we get around Halloween, I might have to pop this on and watch it.
You liked it that much? Wow, okay.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And although I do think that the pacing can get a little slow at points, I think overall its fast pace kind of helps.
It's very short. I think that's something.
Yeah,
I didn't really mention that, but this is a very short movie. I think it's like not even 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's something like an hour 15, hour 20, something like that.
I think it was like an hour 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really short. It's even shorter than
And like,
Curse of Frankenstein was, and that was a short movie too. So you're in and out pretty quick, so...
Yeah, and I think that works to its advantage. Overall, is it, gonna be the greatest Dracula movie out there? No, but it is an incredibly fun one and very enjoyable that I would highly recommend people watch.
It does make me... that does make me kind of curious what the uncut version's like. Like, does it add entire scenes or, like, more gore effects in it, maybe? I don't know, because... The breakneck pace does make me wonder if they did just cut a huge chunk of the plot out or something.
They might have. That'd be interesting to see.
Like with Event Horizon, you watch Event Horizon, it's kind of obvious that like they had to cut so much plot out of this to get it in theaters. But yeah, I want to watch the other ones, but. And like, what was the next one? It was Dracula Still Knows What You Did Last Summer. Jesus. How would that even fucking work? Like, they like ran over Dracula in the road and like tried to get rid of his body, but then because he's a vampire, he just comes back the next summer. And
I think you just had the greatest idea for a vampire movie ever.
That's so... It's so stupid. Yeah, to the people that like make vampire movies. I mean, what are you waiting for? Make a fucking... I know what you did last vampire movie. Anyway, so...
Yeah. Next time? Yeah.
Was it? Next time we're doing I'll Always Know What the Predator Did Last Summer.
Exactly.
No, we're doing, that's people want to fucking slap me or something at this point. Our next podcast, we're doing Predator and Predator 2.
Texas Blood Money.
Yeah, Predator 2, Texas Blood Money. You know what, actually, that works perfectly. That would have been, yeah, there you go. There's Predator 2, Texas Blood Money.
Yeah.
Well, in all seriousness, though, I am actually shocked we haven't done Predator yet.
Yeah, no, it's taken us a while.
Because we did the Alien movies so long ago.
Yeah. There are 7 Predator movies.
Guess we better catch up to 2025. We had 2 Predator movies, apparently. And another I Know What You Did Last Summer movie as well. And another Final Destination movie this year with this, like... What is with all the, like... I feel like they're putting out a bunch of stuff. We had, like, 2 or 3 Stephen King movies come out this year, including a remake of The Running Man.
I forgot that that's still...
Are we gonna have to do that Running Man remake? We might have to.
We might have to.
If it had come out earlier, we could have done 2 movies Enter, but, you know.
Yeah.
It would have been, I mean, it doesn't stand a chance, though. That one doesn't have Richard Dawson in it.
Exactly. I mean, maybe if they got Steve Harvey to play Killian, then maybe,
funny.
But...
That would be funny, actually, if they did that. Or, just some other game show person, I guess. Not Trebek, though. He's dead.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that does
Pat
Wheel
Sajak.
Pat Sajak, yeah, the guy that does Wheel of Fortune. It would have to be called Wheel of Torture if they did that.
It would have to be.
There's no other name it could be. Or Wheel of Misfortune.
There you go.
Bust a deal, face the wheel. But yeah, so we have to catch up. There's 2 Predator movies that came out in 2025. We gotta catch up with those. I also, I'll be honest, I never saw Prey either, so...
I still have only seen the first Predator movie. So, like, just about every movie in that series is gonna be new to me.
Well, and AVP, obviously.
Yeah. But we're not doing those.
It's kind of like with Nightmare on Elm Street. You've only seen the first one and Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Might have to do those at some point as well.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, there will be an excuse to watch Prey and then these 2 newer Predator movies that I also have not seen. I've seen like all the other ones. I've even seen The Predator, and that movie is a piece of shit. But anyway. So yeah, I guess we're signing off then.
Yeah, roll the Andy Griffith.
Does he remember what you did last summer?
Always.
Good night, you stupid idiot. Good night, you miserable slob.